Perfect. All right, I came prepared this time. I have high def camera. I've got some time. I've got 3 songs here to talk, so AKA talk about whatever I want to talk about, and probably not talk about what I wanted to talk about because I'm gonna go off on 13 different tangents. But here we are. I'm in the studio right now. It's Sunday afternoon, so back in the day I used to never do videos on weekends because typically I was home and my roommates were home, more specifically. So when I first did these videos, everyone was already at work and I was in my room and I just I played my music and did what I wanted to do. So but now I'm always home, or no, I'm always working, but here we are. So yesterday, Beatlemania in full force. I got to see Sir Paul McCartney. How freaking awesome is that? I had to go. I know people my age may have seen him before at like stadium shows, but I have never got to see him. My dad never got to see him before, so he and I and my uncle went. And for me, this was pretty much a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because this was his first show back on tour since he got sick in Japan. As I mentioned in my last video, he got sick and had to postpone 2 months worth of shows almost, and his first show back after recovering and everything in my home city. That's pretty awesome. So sold out show. It was packed. It was just insanely packed. I've never been to a show where as soon as before the show, before even the music started, he walks out on stage and just goes like this, and he just gets a 2-minute standing ovation, which I know no other group, I'm sure any other group would get the same, from their fans, but usually they go right into the music. But him, he soaks it in and just takes it all in, and it was just amazing to see a Beatle, one of the original Beatles. It was awesome. Speaking of the Beatles, throughout the performance, first he's like, this song was by John Lennon. He's like, let's give it up for John, and everyone screams like crazy. And then later on, he's like, in this song I learned this was one of George's songs. Let's give it up for George, and everyone goes crazy. Not once did he mention Ringo Starr. I'm sorry, Ringo. Just face it, no one really cares about Ringo Starr. Which is not the best thing to say. I mean, it's going to be terrible. It'd be terrible if anything were to happen to him. But he's just, I'm sorry, Ringo. You were mad goofy growing up. Just you were the goofiest Beatle, and people saw that. I'm sorry, bro. But there's nothing wrong with being goofy. I mean, look at myself. I'm a weirdo. I'm about as strange as they come when it comes to being weird. So, I mean, this was a 3-hour performance. The guy does not take a break. He didn't even take a drink of water. The guy just kept playing nonstop, jumping from bass guitar to regular guitar to acoustic guitar to electric guitar, back to the piano, then back to bass, then to a different piano. It was insane. And the fact that he's doing this now at, I forget how old he is now, 64, 74, he's old. But he's up there and he still does it, man. He pretty much sings all those songs just the way they did back in the day. And that's sweet, the fact that he did that. Before the show even started, the outside of the arena, it was just completely packed. And a friend of mine, Brian, he actually got there's a piano set up. There's an art exhibit throughout the city, saying like, free piano, play me. And there was one set up outside the arena, and he played the piano for about an hour, and everyone just sat there listening to him play. And he made tips. So I called it. I'm like, dude, you officially opened for Paul McCartney because you made money on the show. So that's pretty sweet, But that's really what's going on. Tomorrow I'm going to be back here in the studio, so tomorrow's a busy day. I'm going to work the 9 to 5, where I know you've seen that office, and then I'm going to go home, have some dinner, then head back here to the studio and do the Monday night show. So I'll be here from 7 to midnight. So I'll be essentially working from 9 to midnight. So it's going to be a long day. But you know what? Working here is a privilege, and it's an honor, really, to think that not many people get to be a radio DJ. And to me, it's a dream. I take full advantage of it, and I take it all in, because how many people can say they do it? Only really a handful of people. So it's really cool. I'm sure one day I'll talk to you guys more about this. I'm already at 5 minutes now, and we just grazed the the surface of what's going on, or what had happened yesterday. But it was a great show. Definitely will remember it forever, which is great because, you know, there's a lot of bands out there that I still haven't even seen ever. You know, some of my most favorite bands I've never got to see live in person, whereas I've seen New Kids on the Block like 3 times. How does that even work? I don't even know. So I've seen bands that if you told me back in the day, I'd say, yeah, you're going to see New Kids on the Block a bunch of times. I would have been like, no, they're not even a band anymore. How is that possible? Do I have a time machine? But no, and now I've seen them a bunch of times. I'm not saying I'm embarrassed by that fact. It's a great show. New Kids on the Block, awesome. Joey McIntyre. You know who's cool? AJ from Backstreet Boys. He's so underrated. He's the man. But seriously, I mean, there's groups out there that I just have never seen live yet for one reason or another, and it stinks. You know, so like Iron Maiden, I never thought I'd see Iron Maiden, but all of a sudden in the past, 5 years or so, they've been touring and coming to the U.S. So I've actually had the privilege to see them a few times now, so I'm pretty stoked on that. But small bands, not small bands, but like punk bands, like Goldfinger, Punchline, I've never seen either of those bands, and they're on my, you need to see these lists, see these guys' lists. But, hopefully I will. So we're getting in the meat of this video. I haven't done one this long in a long time. I know people say, you should just do some of those 1-minute videos again, probably because they're saying, I'm sick of seeing you. Stop. You're wasting my time. I could be watching makeup tutorials or other things. But no, you're watching me. You're not watching babies learn how to walk. You're not watching makeup videos. I don't know. What else is on YouTube? I don't even know. Just me mostly, I think. Alright, so I gotta talk after this song, so later. Hold on, I'm gonna bring it up. I used to be like, blah, and I used to like stop it all random and stuff. So let's go. Yo.